Hello and welcome to Sunnyside Crochet. Today we will be making indoor flying discs. Now, I don't know if your kids are anything like mine, but the rainy days of early spring and him being cooped up indoors are just unbearable for him. So he's always trying to find ways to play around inside, and I thought paper airplanes were a safe way for him to get out that boyish instinct of, needing to throw things. But apparently not. So we decided on indoor flying discs. So these are sort of like the plastic outdoor variety, but instead of being made out of plastic and being hard and breaking things as you throw them around the house, these ones are made out of acrylic yarn and hopefully won't hurt anything if they hit them. They shouldn't. So here we go. This is also a basic tutorial on how to do a round crochet pattern. So here we go. What we're gonna do to start off, we will chain 2, and then in that second chain from our hook, we're going to single crochet 5. Now I just always start with a foundation of 6, just because it's easier for me to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we are going to slip stitch in this first loop right here. Right in there. And then what I always do, so I don't get confused and accidentally use this stitch later, I just pull it tight. So we have 6 stitches starting off. The next row is 2 stitches in each stitch from the previous row. So our initial chain counts as 1. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you will notice as we're going, each row is a multiple of 6. So like this row's 12 stitches, row number 3, which is our next row, will be 18 stitches. Pretty easy to keep track. Okay, so we're gonna slip stitch in that first chain again. Pull that one tight. And it's always good to keep your first chain loose because you're going to use it again in future rows. So we are on row 3, we're gonna chain 1, and we're not gonna work in that first stitch there. That chain counts as stitch number 1. So we're going to single crochet 2 in the next stitch, and then 1 in the following stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch. And that's also a really good way to keep track of what row you're on, because you have 3 stitches in your pattern here. You have the single one, and then you have 2 together. So as you're making your circle bigger, that's a pretty good way to keep track of what row you're on and how to count it as you're going. So there's 1, 2 in there. Okay, and we're gonna slip stitch in that first chain, pull that tight. Okay, now we're on 4. And as you're going, you actually want to offset where you've crocheted 2 in the same stitch with your next row, because if you don't and you keep doing them all together, you're going to end up with a shape with angles. And because we're working in 6s, it's going to look like a hexagon. So what we're going to do is we are going to do our 2 stitches together in our first one here. So we have 1 with our chain, and go back in again for 2, and then 3, and 4. Oop, I missed 4. 4. Okay, and then we'll start over again. There's 1, 2 in the same stitch, 3, and 4. And we'll just keep going around just like that. Okay, we'll finish this up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slip stitch in that first chain again. Pull that one tight, and there we are. Now we're ready for row 5. So we'll chain 1. Now the way I ended up doing row 5, let's see, 1, 2. Okay. So the way I ended up doing row 5, we'll chain 1, and then 2 in the same stitch. There's 3, 4, and 5. So there's 1, 2 in the same stitch, 4, and 5. 1, 1, 4, and 5. 1, 2, and 3 in the same stitch, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you can decorate these any way you want. You can use them as coasters. You can do really whatever you want with these, because the circle is a good foundation for a lot of different projects. In fact, I'm going to be using some of these to make Easter baskets for my nieces and nephews. So if you know them, please don't tell them. It's a surprise. So this is a good foundation for that. So we're on row 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and same stitch, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the same stitch for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same stitch for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there we are. That's a good size, you know, if you wanted to put walls on it for a basket, which I will be doing next week. Put a couple little goodies in there. It's a good size for that. Or I'm going to make a bunch more of these, and my son and I will have hours of fun throwing them at each other. Great, harmless fun. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. Please visit sunnysidecrochet.com for more great ideas. Follow us on Facebook and Pinterest, and check out our other YouTube videos. Have a great day, and as always, happy hooking!